Happy Thursday, Year 2. It is the last day of the week because we have a bank holiday tomorrow, which is quite exciting. So here is chapter 11 and chapter 12 because they are two short chapters. So the three bears have gone and found somebody's in their house. Who is it? We know who it is, definitely. So there are more and more surprises to come. Chapter 11. There doesn't seem to be anyone here, said Beth, cautiously looking around. Who? Well, who lighted that candle then? Asked Moonface, his big round face looking anxious. We didn't leave it burning. Suddenly the father bear gave an angry growl and pointed to his chair.
Who's been sitting in my chair?
He said. And
who's been sitting in my chair?
Said Mother Bear, pointing to hers.
And who's been sitting in my chair? And it's all broken. It's all broken to bits.
Squeaked the baby bear in tears. Beth giggled. This sounds like a story I've heard before. It's like the three bear stories coming true, she said to Franny. They'll talk about the porridge next. And they did.
Who's been eating my porridge? Said the bear angrily.
And who's been eating my porridge? Said the mother bear.
And who's been eating my porridge? And they've gobbled it all up.
Wept the baby bear, scraping his spoon around his empty plate. It's all very mysterious, said Moonface. Somebody lighted the candle. Somebody sat in those chairs, and somebody has eaten the porridge. But who is it? It's not me this time, said Goldilocks. I was with you all the time, and we were snowballing, wasn't I, Bears? You certainly were, growled the father bear softly, patting the little girl on her back. He was very fond of her. I wish we had found poor Joe, said Beth. Whatever will he be doing in this horrid cold land? Do you suppose we ought to go out and look for him again? Said Franny, shivering as she thought of the ice-cold wind outside. No, said Moonface decidedly. No one is going out of this cottage again until we're safely in the wood at home. I'm afraid we can't possibly rescue Joe now. He'll have to stay where he is. What's that noise? Said Goldilocks suddenly. Everybody listened. Someone was snoring softly in the next room. We never thought of looking in there, said Moonface. Who can it be? Shh, said Goldilocks. If we can't catch him sleeping, we can hold him tight and he won't be able to get away. But if he wakes up, he might be really fierce. So they tiptoed to the door of the bedroom. One by one they squeezed their way through. Who's been lying on my bed? Growled the bear. Said the father bear in a growly voice. Shh, said Moonface crossly. Who's been lying in my bed? Said the mother bear. Shh, said everyone. And who's been lying on my bed and is still fast asleep in the bed? Said baby bear. Everyone stared at his cot. Yes, there was someone in there, someone covered in white. Was it a polar bear? It's a white bear, said Moonface, half frightened. Let's lock him up before he wakes up, said the father bear. He might still think we are the enemies. They all rushed out of the little room and slammed the door shut with a loud bang, locking it behind them. He's caught, said Moonface joyfully. Joe awoke with a jump. Who had locked him in? Had the magic snowman done it? Caught him again? Oh no! He began to shout and bang on the door, and then Beth and Franny recognised his voice and yelled out loudly. Joe! Moonface! It's Joe! Joe! It's Joe! Oh, it's Joe!" They rushed to the door and they unlocked it and they flung their arms around Joe. The boy was too astonished to speak. He hugged his sisters. "How did you get here?" he cried. "How did you get there?" cried Beth and Franny. "Come into the kitchen and we'll have some hot porridge and milk," said Goldilocks. "We can talk then and get nice and warm." So Joe went with the others, all chattering loudly about everything. Goldilocks ladled out porridge into blue bowls and made some hot chocolate. Soon everyone was putting sugar on porridge and drinking the hot chocolate. Joe poured some milk over his porridge and smiled joyfully at everybody. "I think he's pretty happy to be nice and safe now." "What an adventure this has been," he said. "Shall I tell my tale first, or will you tell yours?" He told his, and then Beth told how Moonface had gone to the three bears for their help, and all about the fierce snowball battle. "It's a pity about the battle," said the father bear mournfully. "The white bears are cousins of ours, and have always been really friendly. Now they seem to be our enemies." "Let's hope they don't discover our cottage," said Goldilocks, eating her porridge. Moonface, "Hadn't we better make some magic and get back to the woods?" Plenty of time, said Moonface, pouring himself another cup of hot chocolate. But, you know, there wasn't plenty of time, for just at that moment Goldilocks gave a "Ah!" and pointed to the window. "Someone's looking in," she said. "Don't be so silly," said Moonface. I'm not," said Goldilocks. "I tell you, somebody's looked in. Who could it be?" "The handle of the door. It was moving," yelled Moonface, and he leapt to the door. In a flash he locked it and bolted it. The father bear got up and went to the window. He looked out into the snowstorm carefully. "I can't see anything," he said, and then he growled loudly. "Yes, I can. I can see the white bears. They have surrounded our cottage. Now what shall we do?" "Well, they can't get in at the door, and they certainly shan't get in at the window," said Moonface, looking fierce. The door shook, but it held well. Someone battered on it. "We shan't let you in," yelled Joe. "If anyone tries to open the window or break it, I'll throw this kettle at him," shouted Moonface, who was dancing about waving the kettle in the air. "Moonface, that kettle has got hot water in it," said Franny. "Do be careful. You nearly dropped some on me." "I'll drop it on any bear that dares to come in here," yelled Moonface, splattering the room with steaming drops. "Oh dear," said Beth. "Hide behind the bed, Franny. It seems to be that Moonface is almost as dangerous as the bears." Moonface soon realised that they were right, and that waving a hot kettle around was a foolish and dangerous thing to do. So he put it down gently. Then the father bear had an idea, and dragged the big table across the room to block the door. Things were getting exciting. Joe and the girls were frightened, but they couldn't help feeling terribly thrilled too. Whatever was going to happen? "Humph! Humph!" boomed the big bears outside, but they couldn't get in at any of the doors or any of the windows. But they found another way. The chimney was wide and big, for the fireplace was one of the large, old-fashioned kind and needed a wide chimney. The chimney was wide and big, for the fireplace was one of the large, old-fashioned kind and needed a wide chimney. One of the bears climbed up onto the roof, followed by three more. The first one slipped into the big chimney. Down, 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 whoosh! Down went another, and the third, whoosh! And the fourth, whoosh! They landed with a crash on the big hearth and jumped away from the flames of the fire. "Surrender!" they cried to the startled children and bears. "Surrender! The magic snowman is outside. Let him in!"